Thank you for checking out Lakehead International's videos. You're about to watch one of our Lakehead International live webinars, a fun and informative way to learn more about Lakehead while also meeting faculty, staff, and current students. If you have any questions throughout today's video, please comment below. Otherwise, let's get started. So on that note, folks, I want to officially welcome you to Lakehead University and share a bit more about our institution and why we're so proud to be a part of what's going on over here. So Lakehead University is a public institution located here in Canada, more specifically in the province of Ontario. We do have two campuses located in Thunder Bay and Orillia, and we also have a partnership with Georgian College in Barrie, Ontario. Some of the things that we're most proud of here at Lakehead University are certainly that we're a medium-sized institution that ranks quite high in terms of international and national rankings. Some of those on the screen here today include the fact that Lakehead University is #1 in Canada for not-for-profit research income in the undergraduate category. We're also recognized as the #1 university in North America with under 9,000 students by Times Higher Education's Global Impact Rankings. Here in Canada, we do have something called the Maclean's Magazine Rankings, which does all universities here in our beautiful country. And so we are consistently placed in Canada's top 10 universities in our category. Something shifting gears here, though, and chatting a bit about what Lakehead has to offer and things that we're proud of include our scholarships for undergraduate students, where last year alone we gave out $7.8 million Canadian to international students who were joining Lakehead for the first time or actively pursuing their degrees. We also are really proud of our small classroom experiences here on campus. So on the Thunder Bay campus, we have a student-to-professor ratio of 15:1. And on our Orillia campus, we have a student-to-professor ratio of 13:1. What that all boils down to in terms of those small classroom experiences where students get to engage more deeply with their learning and their professors and of course their peers, we feel that that speaks to our employment rankings, which have 96.3% of our grads actually employed within 2 years after walking across that convocation stage, which is above the Ontario University graduate average of 94.3%. So something that we're extremely proud of, to say the least. A bit more details about Lakehead University. We are a public Ontario accredited university, which is great in terms of our postgraduate work permit eligibility for students. And of course, it also speaks to the academics and quality of education that we are proud to deliver each and every day. The students that are already calling Lakehead home include over 8,600 folks from around the world, including 80 different countries represented in our student body. Those students are involved in pursuing degrees in 85 different undergraduate and graduate programs, some of which include a cooperative education option. And we'll get into that a bit further today as we dive into the Faculty of Engineering. Before we actually introduce our special guests, though, I want to chat a bit about our areas of study here at Lakehead, which are our faculties. So we do have business administration, engineering, science and environmental studies, natural resources management, education, social sciences and humanities, health and behavioral sciences, law, and graduate studies. So that's a quick overview of Lakehead University, but it's my distinct pleasure to welcome and introduce our special guests from the Faculty of Engineering. And first, I will pass it over to Dr. Elshaer.
Hi, Jordan. Thank you so much, and thanks for everyone joining us today. My name is Ahmed Elshaer. I am an associate professor in the Civil Engineering Department. I'm also the graduate coordinator for our new PhD program, and I'm focusing on structural engineering field, more specifically about like wind hazard. And I'm glad to be with you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us, and it's a pleasure to have you. We'll pass it over to Dr. Khalid next.
Hi, Jordan, and hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Mohammad Saifullah Khalid, and I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical and Mechatronics Engineering. Since my joining here at Lakehead University, I have founded my nature-inspired research lab, and I am leading a team of around more than 10 students at different levels in PhD, in master's, and at undergrad. And my focus area is primarily in fluid dynamics. Primarily, we are working in developing computational techniques for different bio-inspired engineering designs, as well as for energy systems and different systems related to thermal fluids. Over to you, Jordan.
Thank you very much for joining us. It sounds like between the two of you, we have some diverse representation within the faculty. Of course, we have more majors, though, that cover a broad range of engineering topics, and we'll dive into that as we explore the programs we offer. But first, I want to chat a bit about the Lakehead Advantage and why Lakehead's engineering program may be a bit different in comparison to some of our fellow institutions across Canada. So for undergraduate programming and education, we really believe that Lakehead's engineering has a different learning experience built in. So from the very first year and the first day on campus, you're going to be pursuing your discipline in engineering, which is unique in many instances. Of course, it allows you to start to build that passion and really explore the topics in an in-depth sense. We also offer the unique experience where you're able to combine both a diploma, a cooperative education experience, a Lakehead University degree, and perhaps a master's of business administration. I'll dive into that a bit further in today's presentation, but just a quick sampling of the idea that you can pursue so many different qualifications and credentials at the same time is pretty important. Our small classroom sizes, like I noted before, are important to the Lakehead experience and the Lakehead Advantage, especially for students where this is your first taste of university life and how to conduct yourself. Being able to connect more closely with your peers and your classmates, but also having access to your professors in terms of supports is always important. We have a wide range of portfolios of projects and research areas, which we'll learn about some of our active research here within the faculty on today's webinar. So you'll hear a bit about that, but just to note, there's going to be a lot of variety in terms of where you may see yourself fitting and perhaps exploring more academic research. We also have plenty of flexibility within the program. This ties into both the fact that there's multiple qualifications or credentials that you'll be pursuing at the same time, but we also recognize that students' passions and their desires may shift. And so there's that ability to perhaps change degrees or to pursue something a bit differently. And reiterating once again, the fact that you will graduate with any one of our undergraduate engineering degrees with 2 credentials in just 4 years. So you'll receive a Bachelor of Engineering degree from Lakehead University. You'll also receive an Engineering Technology diploma from Lakehead University. The key considerations or key takeaways that I want you to hear from are that each and every day our courses involve work from real world issues with real world companies. So this is always evolving the Lakehead education and how we deliver that to be reflective of engineering of today and of course of the future. You will also perhaps have the ability to earn as you learn through cooperative and paid work experiences. We do recently have, I mean, it's not that recent anymore, but a new dean to the Faculty of Engineering who is championing the effort to build a family-like environment where new students will have the ability to be introduced and mentored by upper year students. And of course, the broader faculty are working more collaboratively together. At the forefront of the Lakehead Advantage is the importance of being employable at the end of the day. And so that is at the core of our student objective, is to make sure that when you graduate with a Lakehead University engineering degree, you will be able to find gainful employment. Another important note about the Faculty of Engineering here at Lakehead University is that we are accredited by the Canadian Engineering Accreditation Board. What that means is that all of our bachelor programs on the Thunder Bay campus, excluding Mechatronics, and I'll speak to that in just a minute, are accredited by this board, which it speaks to the rigorous quality and assurances going into making sure that education that you're paying for is of the highest quality, and the professors and the course material that you're working with on a day-to-day basis, once again, is critical to your success. I'll pass it over to our special guests to see if they have more information to share about the importance to this qualification.
Okay, so just to give a little bit of clarification about this accreditation process. So it is an iterative process that we go through regularly. Some universities do it every 3 years. Sometimes universities do it every 6 years, depending on the accreditation length. So we are proud that we typically receive an accreditation for the whole 6 years. That means that we need to repeat it only every 6 years. And it is not like just a process that we do it just before the time for the accreditation. it is like for the whole 6 years work. Like literally we prepare all the program goals and program attributes. We collect data, and we keep on, like it is an iterative improvement process, so that we can look at what have been like mentioned by our students, by the accreditation board, what are areas of improvement that we may like have, so that we can like keep the improvement process. And then everything is literally submitted, like from like the course outlines to lectures to assignments, exams, and everything, samples from the students' answers and everything, so that everything is in the hands of the accreditation visit, and then they will provide us with their feedback about it. And I was glad to participate in our last accreditation in my department. And it's not only in civil, like I'm sure that it is in every other department that we have here in Lakehead Engineering. We typically receive an accreditation for 6 years. So yeah.
We certainly do, and that's something that we're of course proud of. You sort of scratch the surface of the depth to this accreditation that goes through a very rigorous process to make sure, once again, that quality of education is there. And as I noted before, the reason Mechatronics is not quite accredited, although we're very hopeful, and of course we worked very closely with the board themselves to build that program, is that we need a graduating class to then assess the success of the program and the success of that degree. So soon to come, hopefully. Of course, we already have really strong aspirations to gain that when we're ready. Chatting about those undergraduate programs, I do want to mention, as I noted before, we have several campuses for Lakehead University, one of which is the Thunder Bay campus, where you can have education delivered within chemical, civil, electrical, mechanical, mechatronics, or software engineering. Some of these programs offer a cooperative education experience. Some of them offer the MBA experience. And with all four, or pardon me, all six of them, you are guaranteed to graduate with a Bachelor of Engineering and Engineering Technology diploma after 4 years. We also have a unique experience with Lakehead Georgian. So that is Lakehead University and Georgian College on the Barrie campus, and you'll graduate actually with a Bachelor of Engineering from Lakehead University and an Engineering Technology diploma from Georgian College. All 4 years are actually delivered on Georgian College's campus in Barrie. We emphasize the use of their labs and facilities that already existed to be able to offer this experience. However, from day one, students are, of course, pursuing and actively engaged in degree or university level education. And that is offered with electrical engineering and also has a cooperative internship option. So that's a quick overview of our undergraduate programs. We're also going to take a peek at the first year at a glance. So as a first year engineering student at Lakehead University, you'll take the following courses, which include computer programming or elementary computing, depending on the course name and your major. You'll also take Calculus 1 and 2 for engineers and Introduction to Academic Writing. And that one could be completed in years 1 or 2, depending on your discipline. There's other, though, prescribed courses and elective courses that you'll have a chance to pursue. So this is just a quick sampling. If we had a complete list of all the courses you would be taking in years 1 and 2 in all of these disciplines, we'd be here for days at that point. So just to note, this is only a quick sampling of the courses that you may take. I'm going to pass it over to civil engineering first to share more about just an idea of what these courses offer.
Okay, so if we are talking about like first year, like the mentioned ones are definitely from the like the mentioned courses are definitely the one among the courses that you will be taking at the first year, like speaking about mechanics of materials, theory of structures, survey, fluid mechanics, those fundamental courses that we will use down the road to learn more about civil engineering. So if we talk generically, civil engineering are responsible for anything that the city or the civil like cities require, like from the houses that you live in to the water distribution lines to like wastewater treatment, from hydrology, soil foundations, all those are fields in engineering. So like speaking about first year, like we will need some of the fundamentals to be learned like in the first couple of years, and from them definitely the courses of materials and structural analysis, as well as surveying and those fundamental courses that is required for pursuing the rest of the degree.
Awesome. And then I'll pass it over, since we have you here. You might as well share more about mechanical engineering, Dr. Khalid.
Yeah, I think mechanical engineering is one of the mother fields in technology and science, and we definitely set up the basis for the high-level courses in our first year for different students. We can see a couple of examples on the screen, which we offer in first year engineering course, besides the mathematics courses and the general science courses. Uh, Besides those courses, we have mechanics of materials, which we actually share with civil engineering. And then we also teach statics. We also teach dynamics. And basically, I would also like to share my perspective here with the students in their first year, that they should focus on understanding how in what order those courses are being taught to them, because they actually reflect sort of like a design cycle for the real-time engineering applications. I can give you examples. For example, you should focus on why we are learning or why we are teaching statics first, and then we talk about dynamics, why we talk about mechanics of materials at a certain stage. Similar goes to other fields like thermodynamics and heat transfer. Uh, in my teaching methodology, and I'm sure this is something which we all engineering professors share in terms of perspective, is that we need to develop a synergy between mathematics and physics. And we really have to see how they go hand in hand. So basically, our aim is to develop those fundamental knowledge for the first year students, which can help them deal with the advanced courses in their next years.
Awesome. And to add on to that, I think it's important to note setting up a strong foundation in your first few years within your Lakehead degree is important, because we recognize a successful and a strong engineer is one that has an interdisciplinary approach to their thinking and how they solve the world's problems, essentially. So having that strong foundation, and whether or not the course is directly related to perhaps where your degree will take you, that's okay. I think you put it beautifully in terms of saying that there's a design philosophy behind why we do certain courses in the first year versus the second year, and how it will set you up for success in your upper years. So that's just a quick taste, a quick glance at your first year, perhaps two at Lakehead. You will learn more, of course, in the summer months, and as course registration opens, we'll guide you in that process as you transition to Lakehead University. We are going to shift gears here now and chat and introduce our graduate programs. So we recognize on our webinar today, we could have students that are participating in master's programs or even doctoral programs. And so we would be remiss not to chat a bit about what you can expect to encounter in your first year at Lakehead or your degree at Lakehead. So for masters, we offer chemical, civil, electrical, computer, environmental, or mechanical engineering. And for our doctoral programs, so those students that are looking for a PhD, we have chemical, civil, electrical, and computer, and mechanical, with exciting programs in the works as well to expand our graduate offering, so that students, even as you explore, perhaps you are more relevant to the undergrad slides we just covered, but looking ahead to your broad-based future, do you want to continue your Lakehead degree? Perhaps you build a really strong relationship and foundation with a professor here that will help you excel down the road. That's just a quick look at those degrees, but actually getting into what does that entail. So Masters of Science Engineering degree options require completion of 5 full course equivalents, or FCEs as we call them, pardon me. These courses often further defined under each option. So whether your major is mechanical or it's environmental, it's going to shift a bit in terms of what courses are required. And it also will change based on your approach. Are you doing a thesis-based approach, or are you doing a course-based approach? So I won't necessarily go into the specifics of those different approaches. For most first students, you recognize the difference being course-based, where you're learning in the classroom, whereas thesis, you're conducting your own research typically. I will say, though, for all of Lakehead degrees, we do intertwine research and the opportunity to engage professors in a vast majority of our work. Like I said, though, I won't go into the specifics of each of these. That's why it's on the screen for you today. It's just to give you a quick understanding of what to anticipate in the future. I'll take a pause here and see if either of our special guests have anything to add. If not, we'll chat a bit more about some of the experiential learnings. looks like we're,
Okay, so
oh, for sure, go
I
ahead.
can, yeah, I can add a little bit about this. So, like those courses are typically electives. Like, for example, if there is a certain field that you felt that you are passionate about and you would like to learn more about it, let's say that you are passionate about timber. So you will take a course that kind of delve into like more details about timber. Like, let's say that you are interested in how seismic load is affecting the structures, wind load, or let's say that you need to learn more about reliability of the structures. Like, and I'm talking, of course, like if you are specialized in civil, but it works with any other department. So typically, like when you are working in a more specialized company, many companies actually prefer master's holders since they know more in depth about some specific fields. And this is where the master's becomes handy, especially the course based, because you can finish it quicker. So they are 10 courses. Majority of the students are able to finish it within like 4 semesters, or sometimes 2 years, sometimes less, sometimes more. But more or less, it is typically shorter than the thesis based one, where you actually take some courses, more specifically about 4 half courses or 2 FCEs, and you will kind of have to do a thesis where you actually like do some real research. You will have a supervisor. You will find a research point where you need to like investigate further and find some kind of novelty in your research, and then that will be your thesis, like typically.
Awesome. And to formalize that, I know that there is the optional one FCE or one full course equivalent master's project or master's science project, where that actually can be counted towards your supplemental courses or electives. And that is where you get to conduct a little more in-depth research that will critically analyze research areas and evaluate and apply current research in a variety of ways. So again, just a quick sampling of what your degree might look at, and you can look forward to more details being shared by your graduate coordinators and your supervisors in the months to come. So as I noted, chatting a bit about experiential learning and getting your hands on, coming back to the idea of cooperative advantage at Lakehead. So these are paid work terms actually formally recognized on your parchment when you graduate. They're available in 4 to 16 months. So there's a wide range in terms of if you're an undergrad student, maybe you'll complete it in your second summer, and then each summer after that, and you'll do a few different co-ops. In other cases, you may take a multi-year break, and you may wish to do a full 16-month co-op with a company that's offering it. These also pay on average between $25 to $30 Canadian, which is above minimum wage. And then that's where it comes into that earn while you learn, because you're able to apply that foundational knowledge that is so critical to your success in the real world setting, while also earning money towards paying for your Lakehead degree. We already have over 140 national and international partners that we work with, and those include financial institutions like HSBC or RBC. We also have manufacturing companies such as Honda, Bombardier, Aecon, and of course natural resources company like Newmont Gold Corp, Suncor Energy, technology firms like IBM, Bosch, Bell. The list goes on. These are just an idea of where our students have gone in the past. You may be looking at that and go, well, if I'm an engineer, how would I work with RBC? And you would be surprised to know that although it may not be viewed as as an engineering firm, we have students that are taking their skills within programming perhaps, or some form of engineering, and going into those work environments. So don't limit yourself to a single company or a single field of companies per se. We'll help guide you in this process when it comes time to pursuing employment through the co-op experience. Other unique learning opportunities that we're really proud of include the Formula SAE race car. So this is actually in Lakehead's mechanical engineering program, where it offers a combination of both applied technology experience along with the advanced knowledge and engineering design, culminating in a senior degree project, which includes the Formula SAE race car, which is a really, really cool experience for our students, where of course they actually get to go and race the car itself, but they get to build it and understand how it functions and the aerodynamics of it. I'm a business major, so I do my best to chat about this. But there's other experiences for that senior project, which could include the human-powered vehicles, remote-controlled drones or airplanes, concussion testing equipment for sports applications such as hockey. The list goes on for senior degree projects in terms of perhaps mechanical engineering. Other unique learning opportunities could be our robotics lab, for example, where electrical engineering programs offer that combination of that hands-on experience as well as strong theoretical foundations for complex engineering design. Specializations await you in areas such as power systems, power electronics, embedded systems, fuzzy controls, wireless communication, fiber optics, and those are always evolving, especially in emerging fields. We have the fire testing and research laboratory, which is a state-of-the-art fire testing center here at Lakehead's Thunder Bay campus. It is the fire safety engineering in this application where scientific and engineering principles are developed based on strong understandings of the effects of fire and how to protect people, property, and the environment around us. This as a center plays a very important role in conducting applicable fire resistance testing on new construction materials and industrial products to ensure its compliance with both local, provincial, national, and international building codes, which are, of course, in high demand. We have our Green Process Research Center, which is the hub for local and international researchers working on cutting-edge green technologies that will develop new products with the aim at transforming both Canadian industries to adopt new sustainable technologies and processes, but also international industries, and hopefully building green products that will protect the environment. I know that this research center is new to Lakehead to an extent. It has a new space that we're extremely proud of in the Cases building. And this is one of the top research centers in Canada in this field of study. So again, being a medium-sized institution doesn't mean that we don't have opportunities that are really unique and specialized. One final opportunity before I pass it over to our special guest to share a bit about what they're doing here at Lakehead is the engineering makerspace. It's unofficially called the Wolf Lab by students, and it's an invent, build, and play space for engineering students at Lakehead University. It is where we feature equipment where students can bring their ideas to reality by building prototypes of their innovations. We have technologies that include 3D printers, 3D scanners, mini laser cutters, as well as plenty of hands-on tools, testing instruments, and other related parts to facilitate that invent, build, and play environment. It's also sponsored by and funded through the Engineering Student Society, ESS. So that's a quick overview of experiential learning and hands-on learning at Lakehead. But I think since we have them here, I would love to hear more about active research that you're participating in. So I'll pass it over to the two of you.
Okay, Dr. Khalid, you can start.
Okay, thank you so much. So as I told in my introduction, I'm leading nature-inspired engineering research lab here. And actually, in terms of like numbers, I have 4 PhD students, 3 master's students, and around 8 undergrad students. And basically, the idea is to bring them in the same space so that they can work together, they can build a collegial environment, they can be good colleagues to each other, they share those perspectives about different systems. And because we are working on different engineering applications related to bio-inspired engineering, propulsion, aerodynamics, as well as renewable energy. So basically, working together in the same space helps the student understand the interdisciplinarity of engineering systems. That is one thing which we are focusing on now. How we do it, we build those multi-physics computational techniques, which are basically used to understand the design process of new engineering applications. And we also look at their performance metrics, how we can predict their behavior, how we can control them. And we do it by developing those mathematical models first, and then we develop those simulation tools. So at different levels, it depends on at what level the student is. And this is how we try to tailor our training process for undergrad students and master students and PhDs, because at grad level, they need to go, they need to dive deep into the whole thought process and basically understand how research questions are formulated. But in terms of undergrad students, we try to help them apply the classroom knowledge onto an actual system and then build it in terms of like prototype. So this is the introduction for my research here at Lakehead.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing more. Passed over to yourself.
Hey, so speaking about research, so in my opinion, this is where the fun starts actually. So usually, many students are under the impression is that research is just for the for the graduate students, masters and PhD. But I will echo what Dr. Khalid just mentioned that I'm pleased that every year I have at least like 4 or 5 undergraduate students participating in the research work. So some of them are summer research assistants. So I offer them summer appointment over the summer to do research in my laboratory, or they actually consider it as part of their degree project. So they, instead of just like doing a regular degree project, they dig into some interesting topic and they kind of like surprisingly at many cases they publish journal papers and they participate in conference attendance. So it's really interesting to see the undergrads. So speaking about my specific research, I'm focusing on structural resiliency of our built environment, like generally against natural hazards, like you are talking about seismic, wind, you are talking about cold temperature, fire hazard. All those are natural hazards that we are trying to build to protect our built environment against. So this is literally how the laboratory that I am leading is called SWIRL. It is an abbreviation for Structural and Wind Engineering Research Laboratory. I have now, like in terms of numbers, like 2 postdoctoral fellows and 6 PhD students, 5 master's students. And it is alternatively through the time, I always have like between 3 to 5 undergraduate students who are participating in the research. In my research work, I focus on a number of interesting like projects. Currently, one of my strategic projects is related to indigenous housing. So we are pleased that Lakehead is placed at a region where we are accommodating or we are in contact with a lot of indigenous students. Our body has like over 10% of our university composition is actually self-identified as indigenous students. So the indigenous research is not only done to indigenous community, but is also done by the indigenous students as well. I am pleased to have students from them. We have some projects related to drone aviation, how the drones aviate around city corridors. They can not only be like those funny drones that we are playing with and take some lovely footage, though actually like they can carry some payloads, they can help in agriculture applications, they can do real business stuff. We are also focusing on things related to optimization of structures. It is simply similar to the Formula One, how they make it more aerodynamic so that it can navigate faster, but we do that for building. But we'll not make it like cars, but we will make it interesting enough to like avoid or at least reduce the wind impact on structures. There are many other projects related to like fire hazards, thermal insulation, seismic load, like a lot of them, but those are kind of the highlight of the most interesting projects that are currently at my laboratory.
Awesome. Well, thank you both of you for sharing, and I wanted to give that opportunity to you to share more and hear just a sampling of what Lakehead faculty is currently doing. I'm really happy to hear, of course, that you have so many students assisting in that research, whether it's through senior projects or through actually work appointments and beyond that. Of course, there's going to be other opportunities, especially for our undergrad students, built more formally into your degree that are that introduction to research, and then at that grad level significantly more involved in that. So thank you again for sharing. We're going to shift gears, and as we continue on this journey of Lakehead's engineering program, I would be really upset if we didn't have an opportunity to share more about our success stories. So the steel bridge engineering team actually places quite frequently in the rankings for national and international competitions. So the story here today with this photo is actually where a competition was held over 2 days with 34 North American universities being judged on the aesthetics, the construction speed, lightness, stiffness, construction economy, structural efficiency, overall performance, and cost estimation of their bridge. The Lakehead team placed 11th overall and brought back 2 awards. They brought back the second in lightness and second in cost estimation. Lakehead came first out of all of the Canadian teams in overall rankings, ahead of actually the University of British Columbia, which placed 14th. So we were extremely proud of our placing. It just goes to show you, again, being a medium-sized institution does not mean that we don't have great opportunities to offer, and that we don't have professors that are so dedicated to their field of study that are going to help you excel within your program. Another opportunity that was available to our students recently was the Canadian Engineering Competition. And these are this is a photo of the winners where they placed first in the senior design category at the Canadian Engineering Competition, which was held in Toronto. And the Lakehead team actually designed and built a prototype of a remotely controlled fire truck, which could race to the flaming building and accurately launch water bombs at multiple locations. Again, this team of students is diverse in terms of their disciplines. So I know that we have students from several different disciplines who participated and were able to contribute differently to the project to oversee and really accomplish something great for the final product. And again, continuing on this journey with success stories also comes in with our career opportunities, where we see our students who graduate from Lakehead and get gainful employment. So by no means is this an exhaustive list. I always like to joke that if we were here with a list of everywhere a Lakehead grad has gone from engineering, we'd be here for another 30 slides plus. But this is giving you a sampling of where students could go and where you could take your degree. I think we've tried to set the stage to share with you that an interdisciplinary approach to engineering, but a strong foundation in your field, will set you up for success in the future. Two of our outstanding alumni, this is one of the first that I'm going to show you, include Miriam, who is a graduate from mechanical engineering. She is actually working at the Peaceful Nuclear Energy Program. And she's also uniquely an official member of the UAE women's ice hockey team, which I'm sure, being here in Thunder Bay and in Canada, she was able to pursue that passion pretty in depth. But when we had an opportunity to sit down with Miriam and chat about her Lakehead experience, she simply had to share that Thunder Bay was a place that reinforces both social connections, but also bonds that just simply can't be facilitated in big city atmospheres because of the hustle and bustle per se, but rather Thunder Bay, she was able to build really great connections. And she also reflected on even the busiest days at Lakehead, she was able to leave her dorm and go to Lake Tamlin, which is our man-made lake on campus, and relieve some stress. She could get a nice big fresh air, and she would be able to soak in that relaxation in that moment. We also have Mohammed, who is from Bangladesh, and he is a graduate from our electrical engineering program. He's currently a product engineer at Eaton. And when we had the opportunity to sit down with him, he reflected on the professors and how much attention and good attention they paid to the students, and the opportunities that he had where he was able to be involved in projects in the university and as a team, and how that was also able to help facilitate and establish a really strong understanding of working in a team environment, so that now in his career, he can successfully conduct himself among his colleagues and his customers. So those are just a few samplings of our alumni. You can hear more stories and voices from our alumni on our website over at lakeheadu.ca/international. However, this does conclude our formal presentation on the Faculty of Engineering. And I do want to take this opportunity to once again thank our professors for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to host you. And next we'll head over into the live question and answer period.
I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, I want to encourage you to comment below or connect with us on social media. We can be found at Lakehead International on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for watching once again, and hopefully we'll see you at the next live webinar. Bye for now.